protests against the 1999 arrest and ongoing detention of Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan have continued across the globe, with Canadian capital Toronto seeing a motorcade demonstration demanding his immediate release. Over 50 vehicles joined the protest, displaying posters of Mr. Öcalan and banners representing political organizations associated with the Kurdish liberation movement. The motorcade traveled through the city for almost 3 hours, with the aim of raising awareness about Canadian and international complicity in what demonstrators call the international plot against Mr. Öcalan. 15 February marked 23 years since Mr. Öcalan's capture in Kenya. Since then, he has been detained on the island of Erbil, held in virtual isolation and conditions amounting to torture. His last contact with the outside world was a brief phone call in March 21 to dispel rumors of his death, and his lawyers and family have just been informed it will be many more months before they can hope to contact him again. International intelligence agencies worked together with the Turkish intelligence service MIT to oversee the capture in 1999, while a number of international governments also refused Mr. Öcalan's asylum.
Fabien Roussel, the communist candidate for the presidential elections to be held in France in April, has shared a message on his Twitter account on the 23rd anniversary of the international conspiracy against Abdullah Öcalan that resulted in his abduction from Kenya to Turkey on 15 February 1999. The Kurdish leader has been held in aggravated isolation in the Imrali Island prison since. Fabien Roussel wrote the following on Twitter on Tuesday. The Kurdish leader, Abdullah Öcalan, has been imprisoned for 24 years in defiance of international conventions. His release will open a path to peace in order to promote the progressive feminist and ecological project of the Kurds. Roussel and his party PCF have been on good terms with the Kurdish people for many years now. Roussel participated in the commemoration event this year for the 3 Kurdish women revolutionaries who were murdered in Paris on January 9, 2013, and expressed his solidarity. At a party rally held in Marseille in early February and attended by around 4,000 people, Roussel commemorated the journalists who were murdered in the Charlie Hebdo massacre, the teacher Samuel Paty, who was beheaded, and the Kurds who fought against ISIS. The communist candidate noted that he was proud of the Kurds who are currently fighting the irredentist Islamists and are subjected to the bombings of Erdogan and Turkey. His remarks were applauded by the participants in the rally.
Director of International
Simon Dubbins, chairs of Unite, the Union International and British Trade Union Association, appeared on Media TV's European Agenda program. Dubbins commented on the 15th February international plot against the PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan, stating that the international conspiracy aimed to imprison Abdullah Öcalan's ideas but failed to do so.
Öcalan was becoming a problem for many people in the region, not just the Turkish state, but really the movement with its emphasis on women's rights, democracy, tolerance, and so on, was actually becoming a threat to most of the autocratic and authoritarian states in that region. So there was essentially a common interest there for many different parties to try and get rid of Öcalan off the international scene and to, as they saw it, end the problems. But we know that that has not been the case and never will be the case. You can't simply imprison somebody and imprison their ideas and expect a movement to go away that has been built on supporting those views, those ideas, and wanting to move in that direction. I think first and foremost, the isolation of Abdullah Öcalan has to be judged on a really basic humanitarian human rights level. By any definition, international definition of torture, extended isolation, denied access, denied visits, and all of these things, that is clearly what is going on. For the Kurdish people as well, the message would be, historically, your resolve to carry on fighting and trying to build a better future has been an inspiration to people who share your values. Don't lose hope. We're still with you. We're going to carry on standing with you, and we'll carry on fighting with you until Öcalan is free and until there is peace, democracy, and an inclusive society.
Villages across the Sheba region of North and East Syria have come under heavy artillery fire as part of an ongoing uptick in attack against the isolated regions. Shiala, Hirbe, Hezwan and Nerevi villages have all faced shelling, with the region experiences an increasing in attacks by the Turkish armed forces and Syrian National Army following a recent wave of aerial assaults against Kurdish and allied forces across the region. Sheba is home to tens of thousands of Kurdish IDPs who fled Turkey's 2018 invasion and occupation of Afrin, the majority Kurdish region isolated from the remainder of North and East Syria. Since then, the region has come under regular assault, resulting in multiple civilian casualties. Up to 200,000 civilians were displaced and hundreds killed in the assault on Afrin. Many of those displaced now live in the isolated Sheba region, where they also suffer under an embargo imposed by the Syrian government. In the ongoing plenary meetings of the European Parliament in Strasbourg, two separate reports were discussed on the common foreign, security and defense policies of the European Union on Wednesday, 16th of February.
Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Haut Représentant, en matière de défense, l'année 2021 a en quelque sorte sonné la fin des illusions.
According to a report written by French parliamentarian Nathalie Lazieux, a member of the Liberal group, Turkey plays many times destabilizing roles for the Europe and its neighbors, endangering regional peace, security and stability. In the report, Turkey's illegal activities were described as threats to peace and war against Europe member states, particularly Greece and Cyprus, as well as in the Eastern Mediterranean. It was also stated that the actions of Turkish military ships were regrettable and violated the United Nations military embargo policies on Libya.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, recent international developments...
David McAllister, a Christian Democrat group member in the German parliament, prepared the second report. It was emphasized in that report that Turkey's Europe membership policy is not realistic under current conditions. The European Commission was asked to make a proposal to suspend Turkey's accession talks until Turkey immediately and consistently reversed its policy in the Eastern Mediterranean. The reports will be voted on February 17th.
Respond effectively to today's global challenges.
Street traders have taken to the street in Hewler, the de facto capital of the Kurdistan region of Iraq, to protest the closure of the places of work. Security forces controlled by the Kurdistan Democratic Party, which governs the Kurdistan region of Iraq and is dominant in Hewler, fired live ammunition to disperse the protest. The traders took to the street on the main road between Hewler, which is also known as Erbil, and Mosul. According to an agreement signed between the traders and the local authorities, they should have been permitted to remain in situ until 2038. Payments have been made to this effect, but the KDP-dominated Kurdistan regional government has taken the decision to drive them from the streets, prompting the 16th February protest. The region is racked by regular protests, with the KDP security forces frequently using violent or lethal forces to disperse demonstrators. Despite major oil wealth, the region's riches are concentrated in the hands of the dominant Barzani and Talabani families, with many local residents struggling to afford basic necessities. The street traders say they will continue the demonstrations until their demands are met. The Aleppo-based Marcher Zilan Academy for Women has held its annual meeting for women in the nearby city of Manbij. The meeting was attended by local political, civil society, and intellectual figures, as well as women's rights activists. The academy, which is named after the first Arab woman to lose her life fighting to liberate Manbij from ISIS, aims to educate women about the political concept of a democratic nation, which underpins the political system in North and East Syria. In 2019, the academy ran 9 education courses with 290 participants, as well as giving hundreds of lectures and seminars. While women were denied an access to education under the Islamic State, the autonomous administration of North and East Syria places a particular emphasis on women's education and role in political life. We aim to expand on the educational projects we are running in order to present a positive view of the liberation of women, said Executive Member Amara Berkel. A Kurdish film produced by the Rojava Film Commune has been screened in Tabqa, one of the region's largest Arab majority cities. For Freedom documents the 2014 to 2015 fighting between Kurdish youth militants and the Turkish armed forces in the city of Ahmet in Turkish-occupied northern Kurdistan. The film has been shown at international film festivals in Europe, India, and elsewhere. The film has also been screened in major cities across North and East Syria. It had also been due to a screened at a film festival in Suleimania, Iraqi Kurdistan, but the local authorities banned the screening. During the 2014 to 2015 violence, which is also known as the City War, Kurdish youth movement responded to Turkish state violence which occurred following the breakdowns of peace negotiations between the Kurdish-led PKK guerrilla and the Turkish government. The violence saw a series of atrocities committed by the TAF and the deaths of hundreds of civilians. With For Freedom documented the armed resistance of a group of youth Kurdish movement members in the Sur neighborhood of Ahmed, which is also known as Diyarbakir. The film was screened in Tabqa before local political, civil, and military dignitaries.